Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I go by Londoncookss, and today I want to share with you guys how I make my Trini Cookup, aka chicken pilau. Now you guys, this is not the traditional way to make it, but I'm just showing you guys how I make it by using what I have on hand. So today I'm going to be using some black pepper, chicken seasoning, a little Sazon for coloring, some garlic powder, ginger, garlic, and pimento seasoning, Maggi all-purpose seasoning, a few pimento seeds which I'm going to ground, a little thyme, coconut milk, most importantly. We also have some dried pigeon peas, 2.5 cups of rice. I'm also using some Mr. Yoshida sauce, which is completely optional, some oil, a little salt. I also have 1 whole Scotch bonnet pepper, brown sugar, and this is 2 carrots which I did cut into cubes. And I'm going to be using a lot of fresh blend today also, and most importantly a stick of butter. I'm using about 5 chicken thighs, which I cut each in about 3 pieces, remove the skin, clean the excess fat, and of course, I'm washing it with some cool water and vinegar. To season my chicken, I use a ½ tablespoon each of black pepper, garlic powder, chicken seasoning, Sazon, all-purpose seasoning, ginger, garlic, and pimento seasoning, and I also went in with a dash of salt and 2 really large heaping tablespoons of my fresh blend. I learned how to make this dish from my mother-in-law, as my husband is Trinidadian, and I do know that traditionally they use green seasoning, and they also use, I believe it's the golden raised butter, which helps to flavor this dish really well. But I don't have those on hand, you guys, so again, I'm using what I do have on hand and what I'm able to find at this time of the year in the US. I added about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar to my pot over a medium-high heat, and of course enough oil to coat the pot. I allowed it to burn for about 2 minutes or so, and I didn't add the chicken in here until it started bubbling. Now I have a tutorial on here for brown stew chicken, you guys. You can definitely check that out if you wanted more information on how to prepare delicious brown stew chicken. But I'm doing this one just a little differently. Now, if you guys notice, I didn't put any browning whatsoever in this chicken, so I'm going to depend on this lovely brown sugar to color my chicken. So what that means is I'm not going to bother my chicken that much. I'm probably only going to turn it maybe once or twice, as I do want that brown sugar to color my chicken nicely. I'm going to allow this to cook for about 25 minutes or so, you guys. I want to ensure that the chicken gets a nice, beautiful brown color before I add anything else to the pot. I'm first going to go in with the pigeon peas, aka the Gungo peas, and I like to let this cook with the chicken for a little bit, you guys, maybe for about 5 minutes or so, just so that it can soak up some of that nice, yummy, brown, sugary flavor. From here, it's going to be a 1 pot, so I'm going to go in with the 2.5 cups of washed white rice. I let this cook with the chicken and the peas and the sauce that has been created for maybe about 2 minutes or so, because I didn't want it to start sticking. But again, I wanted to soak up all the flavors that I have going in the pot right now. I'm now going to add the remainder of the ingredients. So I'm going in with 2 really large tablespoons of my fresh blend, the pimento seeds, which I have grounded, and it's only about a few seeds, you guys. I want you to keep in mind, when grounding pimento seeds, you would not use as much as you would use when using them whole, because the strength or the flavor intensifies. So definitely use a lot less when grounding or when using ground pimento seeds. So I also went in with my coconut milk, and it was a little curdled up in the can, which is why it looks like that. It's the winter time, and it usually is like that during the cold winter months. I'm now going to add about 2 cups of water to this. Now, keep in mind, when adding water to this dish, you want to consider how much coconut milk is already in here, how much rice you're using, and of course, your chicken and your veggies and all of that other stuff. The rules for cooking rice is 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. So I only added 2 cups of water, considering that I'm only using 2.5 cups of rice, plus there's chicken and other stuff in here, plus my coconut milk. So after adding my water into the pot, you guys, I lowered my heat to low, went in with 1/4 of a stick of butter, a little bit of the Mr. Yoshida sauce, a few sprigs of thyme, 1 whole Scotch bonnet pepper, which I did not pierce, enough salt to taste. And at this point in time, you want to taste your pot to ensure that your seasonings and everything is on point, because now we're going to allow the rice to cook. So I'm going to cover the pot with a foil paper, but I waited until most of the liquid dried out, and I covered it with the foil paper and also with the lid, of course, and I allowed the rice to cook at this point. So while we're waiting for the rice to steam up for a Cookup, traditionally they eat this dish with homemade coleslaw. So all I did was to shred a half a head of cabbage, 1 large carrot, added a half of a small onion, some mustard, sugar, and some mayo. You guys, I'm freehanding everything in here, and I'm just making a side of coleslaw to go with this delicious Cookup. My Cookup was done once the rice was cooked, and you guys, the aroma from the pepper once I raised up my foil paper, the look of this, the smell of the coconut milk, oh my god, I cannot wait to dive in. You guys, it was so good, super easy, and let's not talk about cost effective. Something that I also forgot to mention, you guys, that some people like their Cookup a little bit more on the wet side or the moist side, and some people prefer it a little bit more on the dry side. I'm a little bit in between, as I find that once it starts cooling, it starts drying out. Again, you guys, this is not the traditional way how they make it. I made it just with what I have on hand, and I really, really, really love Cookup. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are Trinidadian or know how to make this dish, drop a comment to leave a tip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the family. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.